On the morning of June 10th, 2026, the world's attention was focused on the Middle East. Just hours earlier, the United States had launched new military strikes against Iran. The reason was the downing of an American Apache helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz. But few expected the response to come so quickly or so aggressively. Acting on orders from President Donald Trump, U.S. fighter jets carried out strikes on several military sites in southern Iran. The U.S. military stated that the operation was conducted in self-defense. According to officials, the strikes targeted Iran's air defense systems, radar stations, and surveillance facilities. Reports emerged of explosions near Jask, Sirak, and Keshem Island, all located around the Strait of Hormuz. However, it did not take long for Iran to make it clear that it would not let these attacks go unanswered.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi warned that Iran's armed forces were fully prepared to respond to any attack or threat. He delivered a direct message to the United States: if you want to remain safe, leave our region. From that point on, events began moving even more rapidly. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, claimed that it had targeted the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain with drone strikes. The 5th Fleet is considered one of America's most important naval forces and serves as the center of U.S. military presence in the Persian Gulf region. At the same time, reports suggested that an airbase in Jordan, where American F-35 fighter jets were stationed, had also been targeted. However, conflicting claims have emerged regarding the actual damage caused by these attacks, and independent verification remains unavailable. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, stated that its military operations had been completed and described the strikes as a proportional response. But developments on the ground appeared to tell a different story.
The Strait of Hormuz, through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes, once again became the center of international tension. Concerns began rising across global markets. Pressure on oil prices increased, and governments around the world grew worried that the confrontation could escalate into a broader regional conflict. Perhaps the most notable aspect of the situation was that efforts toward a ceasefire between the United States and Iran had been underway only a short time earlier. However, the Apache helicopter incident effectively brought those efforts to a halt. The United States says its investigation found that an Iranian drone collided with the helicopter, causing it to crash. Iran, on the other hand, argues that the presence of foreign military forces is the primary source of instability in the region. Now the question is, what happens next? Was this merely a limited retaliatory action, or is it the beginning of a much larger conflict?
On one side, the United States is demonstrating its military strength. On the other, Iran is signaling that it has no intention of backing down. Caught in the middle are the global economy, energy supplies, and the safety of millions of people. For now, tensions between the two countries remain at their highest level. But history has shown that when military confrontations intensify around the Strait of Hormuz and across the Middle East, the consequences rarely remain confined to the region. The world is now watching closely to see what happens in the coming days. Will diplomacy prevail? Or will this crisis evolve into another major war? Only time will tell. Thank you